Hello everybody, my name is Zool, and welcome to the Fallout 3 Mod Showcase. This mod contains nudity. The video, however, doesn't. Okay, so in today's episode we are going to be looking at the Vanessa follower mod. This is a cool new mod that creates a fully voiced follower in Fallout 3. It's a really awesome mod, and I thought it definitely needed to be covered in the mod showcase. Alright, so let's do a feature breakdown before we take a look at the mod in action. This mod features a bunch of different fully voiced dialogue lines, so it doesn't get annoying or repetitive, and it all sort of makes sense. It's sort of stitched together from other things, but it sounds really good. The mod itself also contains a follower that has the ability to cook, act as a medic, and has sandbox scripts and is able to guard an area. What all this means is that she feels very realistic. She can cook special whiskey for you in a dialogue option. This is just a special buff whiskey that gives you a little bit of carrying capacity and some small weapons, and you can't get addicted to it. She can act as a medic, healing your crippled limbs in exchange for stim packs healing all of them, so it's a really useful thing to have if you're in a high damage situation. Sandbox scripts basically means that she will wander around idly, and she'll actually guard areas statically depending on how you set her. So if you set her to wander around, she'll act very natural in the environment and not just stand idly. You ask her to guard an area, she'll take out her weapon and hold it and all that kind of good stuff. It's a really awesome mod. A couple of other things is that there's a bunch of different clothing options. By default, she has several skimpy armors and a couple of reasonable armors, in my opinion. One great thing about this mod too is that the follower is not overly glammed up. That means she doesn't look like a Barbie doll. She looks like she would fit in the Fallout universe, at least in my opinion. Some people might disagree, but that's what I think. This mod also does contain nudity, so if you're not into that kind of thing, I personally don't generally download mods like that, then, you know, be aware. I have it because it doesn't come in your face, and in general you can avoid it. The ranged and melee fighting options are perfectly viable for this follower. She can use either way, and it doesn't really affect her that much. There's a couple of unique things that I'm going to leave you to find out for yourself, mainly depending on certain items and areas she's given or at. She'll also heal herself in battle with either food or stim packs, depending on what's in her inventory. She also features several unique weapons that she has on her person that you can toggle between through dialogue options, and if she likes you enough, she has a vendor inventory that will cause her to sell you several different things. So if you're looking for a tough, medic punk chick that you want to follow you around and kick some ass, this is the mod for you. Now let's get into actually showcasing the mod in action. Vanessa can be found and recruited in the Moriarty Saloon. All it takes is a couple of brief lines of dialogue, and you'll be able to talk to her right away and get her to follow you. After that, she's with you for as long as you like. I don't think there's any sort of requirements you have to do, nor a large quest you have to do to keep her by your side. As far as her model goes, it's a good-looking model that I think would fit into the Fallout universe. As long as you're using something that improves the faces of the other NPCs, her mod should be just fine. She has sort of that punk look and isn't overly glammed, like a lot of the female followers that you'll find in this game. So, unlike a lot of the other ones, it's not going to look like she came out of a beauty pageant. She also has a couple of custom things, including some Jack Daniels paraphernalia, personal favorite of mine, a Jack Daniels bag, that kind of thing. Personally, I don't like the way that the texture stretches on this bag, but fortunately, you can actually get Vanessa to take it off. This is her default armor, although you can get her to wear several different sets of armor, including getting her to become naked, which is something that I personally don't really do or care about because this is a game, but for some people that's important to know because they'll either not like that or like it. When speaking with Vanessa, you have to remember that she has a ton of different lines of dialogues, and there's a bunch of different options here. You can get her to guard a specific area, which will have her standing around and shooting any enemies that come near. She won't wander away or patrol. You can also ask her to make camp in a specific area, which I'm going to do now, and we'll see that she sets up a bedroll, which you, the player, of course, can actually use to sleep and make it the next time. If I click on it really quickly, I'm going to actually cancel that. We will see that it allowed me to sleep. So you can do this anywhere in the wilderness, and this helps if you don't have certain mods that allow you to bring bedrolls and such with you out into the wilderness. Continuing on with analyzing some of her dialogue, you can ask her to chill out for a little while, which activates her sandbox scripts. So let's take a quick look at this now. With that activated, Vanessa will wander around and do whatever she pleases. Although with the walking, you will see the strange texture stretching on the bag. So let's get rid of that. If you head over to the management menu, which is how you manage her equipment and what she's doing, you can talk about her apparel. So, can I see your apparel menu? Remove your backpack. And otherwise, you can check what's inside her backpack here, which contains, in my opinion, too much items. I think she carries around a little bit too much. Might be a little bit overpowered for some of you seeking to do a hardcore playthrough, since she starts with 30 stim packs, although that can easily be avoided by just not taking her personal property. Another thing we can look at with Vanessa is the ability to change her apparel in the apparel menu. You can get her to wear some skimpy armor, which I am not going to show on this video because I personally think that it looks very inappropriate and kind of demeaning, and I don't like it. But you can get her to put on some Gecko Armor, which I actually do like. So let's take a look at that real quick. It's still a little bit skimpy, but at least the jacket here sort of looks armored, as if, you know, she might actually be trying to survive out here in the wasteland. The management menu also allows you to set her home in any location you choose, which allows you to take her with you to any custom homes. I've covered a couple in the past, so go check out those videos if you want to see some really cool ones. It also allows you to get her to make a bottle of her special whiskey, which increases your carrying capacity, gives you some weapons bonus, and doesn't cause dependence, so you can't get addicted to it, which is nice. You can also select her weapons menu and get her to change different weapons that she's using. So let's get her to switch to her M4A1. And she can use that instead of the weapon that she was using previously. Next, let's take a look at her tactical menu. You can select whether or not she is melee or ranged. She is proficient in both, although I personally would keep her in range just because of the build and the look of the character. Seems to suit more of a ranged personality type. I don't really think I could see her running around with a huge heavy mallet, although if you prefer to have a follower like that, she is perfectly proficient. You can also get her to keep her distance, discuss whether or not she flees in battle, and talk about the way she heals in battle, as well as marking a place as your home. You can also turn off weapon alert, which means that when you draw your weapon, she isn't going to draw her weapon. Some of you immersive role players might personally like this choice. I don't really use that, because if I have a follower, I do want them to help me, and I find that a little distracting if they don't take out their weapons when we're in danger. But you can also discuss a couple of other things, including getting her to heal yourself in battle using 2 stim packs. Vanessa can also heal your crippled limbs and cure your radiation sickness down to nothing for 4 stim packs or 4 Radaway respectively. Oh, sorry, one last thing. In the management menu, there is a option for her abilities, and this is a personal favorite of mine. You can get her to have a flashlight, you can make her essential or non-essential, you can ask her to start smoking, and you can tell her to shut up because she chatters too much. Something that I think that all follower mods should have, because I know that some, I'm thinking of a mod for Skyrim here called Serdwin or something like that. She chatted way too much, and while the tons of lines of dialogue are awesome, when they get repeated over and over through a really long session, it's nice to be able to get your follower to just be a little bit quiet. One other weird choice in this mod is that you can actually, through dialogue options in her abilities menu, change the height of the character. So I could ask her to be a little bit smaller, and she will become shorter. Not too short though, not anything weird. I think about average women's size if you assume that my character is about 6 feet tall. So that's something to consider. You can also make her taller than you. So let's quickly take a look at that. This one I don't personally like as much. She's a little bit tall for what I think would really fit into the universe, because I like to picture my character at around 6-ish feet tall. This would make her about 6'4" or something, which I think is a little bit tall for the average woman, although it is still possible, so if you'd like to do that, it's fine. I personally like her when she's a bit shorter, just because then she's a bit more varied to the same size of every single character in the universe. Another handy feature of this follower mod is actually an item that you receive upon getting her to follow you. I think it's under... I have to find it here really quickly, but it is the Vanessa teleporter. And we can go ahead and use this, and it summons her to you Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. By the way, if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. If you want to talk about what you think about this mod, or if you have suggestions for any other Fallout 3 or any other games you want me to cover, leave them in the comments below. I have done entire modding series based on only a comment, because this is a small channel and I take all feedback into consideration. Seriously, look, I've replied to like almost every single comment that I've ever had. I'm a good guy. That was a lie. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy. As always, I'm going to ask you if you'd like to check out my Knights of the Old Republic Let's Play. It's modded, features a ton of cool mods, and it is pretty good. It gets more views than a lot of my mod reviews somehow, so that's saying something. Yeah. A little footage, by the way, that I'm running at the top of the screen is just me and Vanessa doing a little bit of fighting, and I'll let that roll for a little bit, and I will see you next time. I have been Zool. Have an excellent day.